Hello, Professor Shields here. Congratulations on finishing the first 2 units of this summer version of Approaches. We're now moving on to Unit 3, which focuses on psychoanalytic literary criticism. And what we're going to be doing is using a lot of the terms and ideas, or at least some of them, that Tyson talks about in her chapter to think about literature and how we might go about looking at texts from a psychoanalytic standpoint. I hope you had a chance to take a look at the chapter, and you'll see that she does a good job of explaining a lot of Freud's ideas, as well as what psychoanalytic literary theorists do with literature. Let me say that you're going to have a choice for the second paper. You can either choose to write about psychoanalysis and literature, or in Unit 4 we're going to do feminist theory, and you can do your paper based on that unit. But the choice is up to you. Now, psychoanalysis will still be on the final, so make sure you do all the assignments. But if you are going to do your paper on psychoanalytic criticism, I just want to give you an idea of kind of what you could do to write that paper. There are a few poems and an optional short story assigned for this week. And your job is, as Tyson kind of shows in this chapter, to figure out what's going on beneath the surface of those texts, or choose one and beneath the surface of one of those texts. So the idea is the same as what Freud tried to do with his patients: get into the unconscious, try to figure out what's really going on, what the real problem is. That's what you want to do with one of those poems or that optional story. You're looking to, perhaps, like Freud did, do a kind of dream interpretation of the text. He believed that a dream had two kinds of content: manifest content and latent content. And the manifest content was what's obviously happening: the people, the objects, the landscape, things in the dream. The idea was to interpret and decipher what those things meant so that you could understand the latent content of the dream. You could do the same for a work of literature, according to psychoanalytic literary theory. So take a look at those poems and ask yourself, what's going on the surface, but what might be going on beneath the surface? So maybe one of those speakers is suffering from one of the fears that Tyson goes over here in the chapter, or maybe a Freudian complex, one of the complexes that Freud came up with. What would you diagnose the speaker of one of those poems with? Or perhaps the main character of the short story? What is his dilemma? What is his psychological problem that allows him to, or forces him to kind of live in a fantasy world rather than reality? Speaking of Walter Mitty. So that's kind of what you could do to do a psychoanalytic literary critique of one of the texts that we're going to be studying this unit. Again, there are other ways to go about it, so take a look in Tyson's chapter, and she has that section on questions that psychoanalytic critics ask about literature. And perhaps you'll decide this is the paper you want to write. Again, you have the choice. You can say, well, I'll wait to see what feminist theory is about, and I'll do my paper on that. That's up to you. In the meantime, let me know if you have questions, and I will be in touch again soon. Take care.